Good morning. During this past week, I showed a client how to set up a budget and manage and keep at his fingertips every single cent or investment or expenditure in his name, and to be able to know day by day during the month, during the year, exactly how much you're spending, how much is in your account, maybe even how much your ultimate investments are, to create some wish list items, but to keep it all in one place. And seeing his eyes light up as he was just like, hey, I'm going to do this, I'll have it done within the week and we can talk about it again. So I thought it would be ideal on this new release of a video is to actually give you a very specific, simple system so that you can track your income and expenditure. You can do budgeting as if you were an accountant. And I'm not an accountant. I did study accountancy and I mastered Excel over the years. I used to teach it in the corporate space. But today I'm going to show you how to do it in Notion. But don't tune out, because you can do this with a pen and a notebook, or you can grab an Excel spreadsheet and you can do it in there. So what I'm going to show you in Notion, which is a killer app, honestly, to do things like this, I want to show you how to do this in the context of a template, and then you can use whatever system you want. Of course, this page is bundled within the context of my broader productive life template, which is linked in the description of this video down below. And when you get it, one of the pages that you get, just one of the many value added pages, is this one near the bottom called Budget. This will open you up into a fully customizable page. This is the actual page that you would get and download to your own Notion account. I've got an income and expenditure section. I've got some mini sections down below for those categories that kind of add up during the month and you want to get a running total and then move it into your actual expenditure area. So I've got food, petrol, bank charges, medicine purchases. You could duplicate this header and this database very simply and just call it something new, and you would be able to track something else. And all of these have got some formulas in them, kind of like Excel spreadsheets. I'll show you at the end what I've also got down below, a place to track all of your income, hopefully income or your balances in your bank accounts, savings and investments, wish lists, and a place to store out-of-date items. Now, with all my templates, there is a very detailed step-by-step explanation of everything. I won't go through that here, because what I thought this would be ideal for is to do a little bit of a build with me. I'll show you how to use it, and whether you're doing this in a notebook or Excel or in a template within Notion, you could do it there. So this is the main view, and there are just 4 different views. And you could see, let's say it was the first week in the month in January, first month of the year. You would put all of your items here. You would then have them show up, and I'll explain this when we've got some items in our database here that are current and active that you still need to act on. We'll show you how to trigger certain items that can appear in a manual section where you actually have to make payments. And you can keep a track of all those items that are on your credit card. And you can see how this might be helpful, because you can get a subtotal of everything that comes off, say, your credit card or some other account. And so one of the secrets is that I use an underscore in front of any of the income items. Now, it doesn't affect the calculation, but it just makes all of these show up at the very top. So let's say my salary goes in, and that's one of the items. I would then, remember I'm doing a budget here, so it's in advance, so I want to deal with the budgeted amount and the actual amount. So let me say I'm expecting 20,000. I will simply use a number here. It could be whatever currency you use, and these are not actual numbers. So this could be dollars. It happens to be rands where I come from in South Africa, South African rands. Then when your actual income comes in, you can check it off and you can put it in, and it would leave the pending item as 0. In other words, it's been dealt with, and you would actually see it's no longer showing up in the active view. If I take that out, go to active, it shows that I need to still act on that. So the moment I act on an item, it will then stay in the budget area, and it will be summing up over there. Let's say you get some other income, let's say you have a hustle income and you've got some extra income coming in. You anticipate maybe you're going to make 2,000 on selling on eBay or something like that. And then at some point during the month, you are going to process when that comes in. You leave it pending until it is ready to come in. So think through anything you get, look back at your past bank statements, accounts, and have a look at what is there. And so once you've done all your income items, and you might, like I actually have a combined budget for my wife and I. We committed after 37 years of marriage this year. We married in community of property, and we do budget and plan and itemize together. She does have her own bank account, and that helps her, but it is a way of so we will have 2 salary items, my salary and my wife's salary, and you can work however you want. You could have 2 separate items like this. We also share this with each other, a shared page. We just go to share and we add each other onto this, and that enables us to be able to live update the budget at any point. Now, at some point, once you've done your income side, you're going to come and find what are all those expenses. And I've given you in the template just a few sample things. So for example, you could have a vehicle, a necessary evil, I guess, in the modern age we could call it. And let's say it's going to cost me 200 a month. And if I had then a car payment that I make, you can see how this car kind of shows up all over the place. And let's say that's 1,000 cash rent. And oh gosh, we've got the car. Now we have to do the jolly petrol on the thing. That's going to cost me a good 700 smackers a month, unless the price goes even up. And the jolly thing just keeps getting dirty. I guess it's the 4x4ing that we do. So maybe that's a once-off wash a month, or however many you're using. So you would go on, you would take everything that's on your plate. You can't really live in the modern age without paying for some sort of high-level fiber or internet access somehow in your life. You would probably, in this modern age, have a medical aid that comes off your account every month, and so on and so forth. You are probably living in a home. Now, you might have a rent amount in here, or you might have a bond payment. And so obviously, don't forget, whatever I've put in here, you just adapt to your own needs. You probably have something like Netflix, a social streaming, or not social media, but a streaming account of sorts. And so maybe this is a mere 50 a month. You might have Spotify, as I put down here. You might have a Notion paid account, and whatever, every single thing possible goes in here. Now, one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to add something like food, and you're going to put a budget in here that can work for the month, and you would then, during the month, update the actual amount. Now, I want to show you how great your budget is looking if you get all gung-ho excited like I've done as a demonstration. And yes, I've got the income up there itemized, and I've got these items here. But hold on now, surely my budget is not 26. I'd like to have this coming down to show me whether I'm balancing. Can you see what it's doing here? It's adding everything up. So actually, my car insurance is a negative amount because I'm going to be paying that out. This is not income, right? And so all you do is you make sure that every one of your expenses are entered as a negative amount, and you make sure that every one of your income items are entered as a positive. In other words, without a minus sign in front of it. Now you can see we are starting to get a total of our income, and it is now subtracting all of our actual expenses and giving us a tally in the end. And to be honest, your rental is probably going to be something like not 700, but like kind of 7,000, right? And you might be wanting to put a savings amount every day of minus, or every month, sorry, of 500. And ultimately, you're going to get to the place where this will either be zero, or that's not the goal. You know, it's what is it? Ideally in life, we want to curtail our expenses so that we've got extra disposable income. But on a proper budget, you're going to have at least more of these items. You're going to have, you know, funeral plan. You're going to have life insurance. You're going to have other type of activities. You might have a giving pocket where you put aside money for every month. Then during the month, when these items are paid off, you would see them come through on your bank account, and you would put the corresponding negative amount in here. You will then say, okay, we paid the car payment. And as you go through, what you would have on this side is a balance of what you owe, because it will adjust. And so at some point, you're going to have this income come through, that 2,000. You now have 10,000. Now here's where it gets really valuable. Right at the bottom here, preceded by an X, I put current available, right? So this is my current account and how much I actually have available in my current account. And you could have a second one, which is in your credit card, or a second account. If you use that a bit like I do, as a sort of almost like a debit card where you charge it up with extra money during the month. Here, you put items in the actual column and you enter these, excuse me, as a minus. So let's say I've got 6,000 in my account. Let's actually make that, let's say I've got 12,000. I would put 12,000 over there. In my credit card, say, let's say I've got 500 available. You notice it actually puts it in the pending column as a positive item. In other words, because this has got a formula built in, it takes that and subtracts it from that and gives a balance, which is why that's minus 500 at the moment. And so doing it like this allows you to see not only where your original budget is going, it allows you to see at a moment, okay, so when all is said and done, I have 2,400 Rand to my name. If this ever becomes a minus amount, I know that I need to stop some area of spending, I need to adjust something, or I need to make my hustle income go up somehow because maybe I can't increase my salary. And so this is, it's simple, but it's powerful. It allows me to see at a glance what is active, what do I still need to pay. It allows me to say some of these items like Netflix are going to come automatically off my credit card, for example. Fiber connection is something I'm going to make a manual payment. My medical aid will come automatically, not off my credit card, but off my current account. And so I can make a note. It is a debit on the 28th of every month. Here I could say under Netflix, credit card on the 3rd of every month, right? And if my car payment, for example, would also be off my current account. So anything that needs to come off the credit card will then show up in the credit card list over here, giving a total needed. You could put your balance in here if you wanted to on your card. Manual are items that you need to know that you physically go and pay, and until you've actually paid them and marked them off as, as dealt with over here by putting in the actual, they will stay showing up on under manual. All right, so that is income and expenditure. Your food expenses during the month, you might shop at a place called Pick and Pay. You might spend 100. You might shop at a place called Checkers, and you would then spend another 89, and you would have 189 down here. At some point in the month, as you go, each time you check in and update, you would find your food category, and you can see it here under active, and you would update the food to be 190. I tend to just round it out slightly, and here you can see you've got your budgeted total, and now you've got your actual expenditure. So during the month, you would have items updating accordingly. If you if you filter this by, or you sort ascending, you would then have items in alphabetical order, but your income will stay at the top and your available items will stay at the bottom. And now you can see food in the right place. You can do the same with other things. I've also given you a very detailed spreadsheet on how to track your fuel, and it would even give you an exact amount of how much you pay per kilometer to drive your car. Once you've got 2 months in, which car. I have a car of my daughter's and mine. Your speedo would go in here, your reading of your speedometer, the date in which the purchase was made, which month it is, how many kilometers were traveled by subtracting the two items. That would automatically, or that's your fuel, how much did it actually cost, how many liters. This would automatically give you a formula to calculate the cost, and then it would give you how many kilometers per liter and how much your liters per 100 kilometers. You could change this to a G for gallons or anything else, I guess. And that will give you your cost per kilometer. Any bank charges that come up in little bits and pieces, you can keep a tally, move them on to a bank charges item up here, which would be a really good one. Bank charges that could be added into here, and you would anticipate that is 200. And as you go during the month, you just have to go up and add it. I do the same with medical purchases like medicines. I do that. A few other things I've added down the bottom are your bank accounts. You can put your total of your credit card, your current account, savings account. You can use this section to keep track of all your savings and investment. You might have some crypto investments. You've got the amount in there with some notes. If it is a savings account or pension, you can put the death value and the maturity date in over there with some notes. You just put the total amount in. This will give you an idea of how much your your savings value, what you put aside are. Your wish list, these are things that you want to do down the line in the future. Might be trips you want to take. You might want to purchase a new vehicle. There might be some tech or something like a camera you want to purchase. You'll put the amount in. You'll check it ultimately when it's done, and some notes, and then you could add how high a priority is this. Is this low or high priority? The only thing I keep month by month is I duplicate this, the income and expenditure view, and I duplicate the food view. The food one, to be honest, is not really necessary. This will be the main one, and if you duplicate this and move it down into the archive, change month 1 to the month that you focus in. So for now, it would be June 2024, and you would move that database in there. Then all you need to do is you'll be left over with this original one, and all you have to do is delete out anything that needs to change, any of the actual amounts. I would just take out all these actual ones. Maybe you could see which of the actual need to stay, like maybe your current balance, because it could be a carried forward amount. And ideally, you would be very quickly up and running for next month. You can uncheck anything that needs to be checked if anything's changed, and voila. So the doing and done happens in over here, by budget item, actual item. So yeah, that's it. All I can say is I wish you well. Happy budgeting, tracking your expenditure, knowing where you are at any point in time. You could add some future goals and plans alongside the wish list to this. And this should give you a really good way of making sure that everything that you have financially is at your fingertips and you're not caught unawares or by surprise. And so, yep, have a look down in the description for the link to the template. Have a look back on the channel to some of the other videos. I saw that there are a couple of videos getting quite a few views. Certainly things that are going to be helpful to solve you problems in life and challenges, and I trust that this has been most useful. Cheers for now.